this story is coming to you from New Hanover County, North Carolina. Now, this story kind of, gets under my skin for several reasons. All right. The number one reason is the police brutality that's going on. And we're not just talking about people getting beat down. We're talking about people dying. All right. You've had 3 men die in several officer involved shootings in the last month. Okay. Just in the last month alone. Some of the names of the victims, here's one of them. The actions of the officers who shot and killed Brandon Smith were ruled justified by a district attorney, Ben David. Now the rest of the shootings are still being investigated by the SBI. But again, look, how can the district attorney, who relies on their relationship with the police to convict people, prosecute them and convict them, it's all part of the same system. All right. And so how, most of the time you cannot trust these people to investigate themselves. And what really gets me is even if you do get a prosecutor to indict a police officer for whatever criminal activity, in many cases, you got African Americans on these juries and they won't even indict them. Because guess what? They've been brainwashed that every cop is your friend. He's officer friendly. And, people come at me and say, well, police officers protect us. No, police officers don't. They don't protect you. They respond to crime after the fact. Now, I'm not saying that there is no role for police officers to play in this society. All right. I'm not saying that. But let's get off of the BS talking about they're, protecting us and they're serving us. Yeah, they're serving us right up to that prison industrial complex. That's why on New Abolitionist Radio, which came on earlier, every Wednesday, 8:00 p.m., they do a segment called the Overseer Chronicles. All right. The first police department in this country was made up of former enslaved African catchers. All right. So anyway, the whole system is corrupt. All right. Now, this is what really gets me right here in this particular story. You got this Reverend, African American by the name of James Jamison. All right. And he works closely with the Wilmington Police Department through this organization called Boots on the Ground. And he said that claims of officers using excessive force do not match the actions of the men and women he knows so well. Like you part of the family, like these people, like you with them 24/7. Come on, man, that's just a bunch of BS. We always hear that. What was that? I can't think of that cop's name. But she kicked this woman, who was handcuffed and killed her, kicked her to death. And then I was reading in the news report saying, she had been officer of the year. She worked with the youth and, delivered Christmas presents to the poor orphans and, blah, blah, blah. Talking about all her good deeds. But then at night on her job as an overseer or enslaved African catcher, she kicking black women to death. All right. And so anytime I hear African American sit up there and act like that these cops are not human beings. They're human beings. They're prone to every vice, every sin, every whatever failing of all of humanity. All right. And so to act like these people are above reproach, like they never do anything wrong. And then you siding with them, against people, against witnesses who witness, these shootings and saying, they're lying. They don't sound like, the good officers that I know and work with. And we do another program called Black Autonomy Federation Radio, which is hosted by a former Black Panther a couple of former Black Panthers, Lorenzo Kamboa Irvin, former political prisoner, former Black Panther, Brother Ross Munyenga. He's up there. He's in exile, actually, up there in Canada. All right. And then, activist Sister Jonina, Irvin, the wife of Brother Lorenzo. And they talk about what's called the nonprofit industrial complex. Now, I'm a nonprofit. Okay. Black Talk Media Project is a nonprofit. But I made a decision a long time ago that we was not going to apply for any kind of government grants, that we were not going to accept money from certain corporations. Yeah, if you want to advertise with us as a business or whatnot, I ain't got a problem with that. If you're a corporation, because I understand a lot of little corporations, I'm going to do my research on you. Make sure you ain't using prison slave labor to make your products, and I'm going to do my research. So I'm not sitting up here indicting every business person out there. But getting back to what Brother Lorenzo has talked about recently, you got these people, they make a living off of government grants. And so that, I could be wrong. I don't know this man. Okay. But, I've known many like him. I've read about many people like him. And anytime you side with the police against the people in the community, then, I got a problem with that. Because then you become an enemy of the people, which makes you my enemy. Now, he's supposed to be trying to work to stop the violence, and I can respect any activist out there that's trying to stop the violence in our communities. They go on. Violence occurs in every community, so don't get it twisted. I'm not parroting the corporate media and acting like it only goes on in the black community. It go on in every community, all right? But violence has been declining, and I attribute that much in part to activist work, grassroots activist work, getting out there in the streets, talking to the young people, talking to whoever, to solve the problem. All right. So, but when you are coming at it from you partnering with the police, and that's publicly known, and everybody know, that you work with the po-po, you be riding with them and all this and that. You are not seen as, you lose all street cred. Let me put it that way. You lose all street cred. You are not seen as an objective arbitrator, okay? Because guess what? You've already picked a side. You've already picked a side, all right? And so again, knowing the historical oppression suffered by people in our community, and not just historical, but ongoing oppression by these enslaved African catchers, all right? No. I can't ride with that. I can't flow with it. I can't get with it. No way, no how. And I despise people like that, and it's not that I have a lack of respect for you. I view you as an enemy. You have made yourself an enemy of the people. And so we got to be wary of these people. They sound like, they'll have a mission statement and all that written up. Yeah, who's not against stopping violence? Who's not against reducing crime? Okay, yeah. But can you do that without working with the police? You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes you have to involve the police, but when you in a business relationship with them, and it is business, because his organization is getting grant money, or else he wouldn't be working with the police like that. It wouldn't be announced in the way that it's announced. He's telling you, he's telling you he worked with these people. So anyway, that's the difference between an African American, emphasis on American. All right. He's been Americanized is what has happened here. All right. And he's lost all, contact with his African roots. He's an American. So that's the difference between an African descendant person or a black person and an African American. I can't get with the African Americans because y'all want to salute a flag that be killing us and killing people all over the world. People want to talk about Kanye West and the Confederate flag, and the criticism is legitimate, in many respects. And, that flag, that battle flag, it does represent the, people or the states that was in rebellion to the federal government. They wanted to keep African people enslaved, as property so that they can get rich and make money. Okay. So it does represent slavery, but guess what? You were enslaved 100 or 200 more years under that old glory, is what they call that, stars and stripes that they, fly at the post office, fly over federal buildings. Look, you've been enslaved. You've been oppressed. Genocide has been committed under that flag. And so I view that flag as the same as I view Old Glory. So if you one of them that's pledging allegiance to that flag, then in my opinion, you're African American. And I can't get with that. I just can't get with it. I can't get with it because I know the truth.